Good afternoon, everyone. I will now call the March 7th Commission on Ethics meeting to order. Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Vice Chair Vara Garcia,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Cardell,
Present.
Commissioner Romano.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cardell, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we are now going to do a swearing-in ceremony with our special guest, Judge Sharif. Oh, do we have to have the?
I think we have to have the election first.
Well, it's on the agenda before. Okay.
All right, Judge Sharif, yes, if you'd like to come up.
Piper sticker.
Great.
Where would you like?
You tell me.
I think this is pretty good, okay? All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear,
I do solemnly swear.
or, just a minute.
We
Oh,
need to
microphone.
record it on Channel 20. Sorry, that was my bad, for not letting Channel 20 know. Sorry.
I'll hold it. Perfect. All right, take two. All right, we'll start again. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States and the state of Florida,
the Constitution of the United States and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Commissioner of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics,
the duties of a commissioner on the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics,
upon which I am now about to enter.
upon which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you. See you all.
All right, once again, a big thanks to Judge Sharif for coming in today to swear me in. So we will now move on to the nomination and election of a new chairperson.
All right, so I will take over at this point since the chair is not here. Do we have any nominations for Commission on Ethics Chair?
I would nominate Kristen Vera to be chair.
I'll second that if you need it.
All right, are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none. Commissioner Vara Garcia has been nominated for COE Chair. So the nominations are now closed. There are no further nominations. If all those in favor of Commissioner Vara Garcia serving as COE Chair?
Aye.
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 All right, all opposed? Hearing none. Per the vote, Commissioner Vara Garcia is elected as COE Chair for the term of 1 year. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
You can move over one.
Okay, great. So now I guess I will take over and I will call for nominations for the position of the Commission on Ethics Vice Chair. Are there any nominations?
I think it's Mike's turn in the rotation. Do you want to nominate him, or do you want?
This, Michael.
Yeah.
Any nominations?
Commissioner Cridell, I'd like to nominate him for vice chair. Did you accept? Yes.
Great. All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Hearing none. Commissioner Cridell, you are now the Vice Chair of the Commission on Ethics. Congratulations. So I'd now like to move on to introductory remarks from all of our commissioners. I guess we will start with Commissioner Romano down at the end. Do you have any introductory remarks?
Congratulations first, Madam Chairman.
Thank
I know
you.
you're going to do a great job. I'm thrilled that you have a former chairperson on either side of you to whisper in your ear just in case.
Yes, I am too.
And it's kind of especially fun that a former commissioner, now judge, came to swear everybody in, and that's or swear you in. That's kind of exciting. I'm happy for her career. So, looking forward to another great year.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Romano stole everything I was going to say, but I'd like to congratulate the chair, Vara Garcia, and Vice Chair Kreidel, who I see over there. Thank you all. I know you will lead us very, very well.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kreidel?
I have spent the past 5 days rerunning part of my life. I've spent the past 5 days rerunning part of my life. I was inducted as president of a Rotary Club for the third time. I think this is my third time being vice chair, and it's just remarkable what reruns are.
Thank you. And I would just like to say I'm very excited to serve as chair for the upcoming year. I know the commission does great work, so I am excited to see what we do in the upcoming year, and I am excited to keep working with everyone. So with that being done, we will move on to the approval of the minutes from the January 11th and the February 1st meetings.
Move to approve, Madam Chair.
All right, do I have a second? We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. We will now excuse ourselves for the executive sessions for C23-026 and C23-031. We will return after the executive sessions. Do you have the orders printed? They said you might have been the only one who printed them. Not for some reason. All right, we are now resuming the Commission on Ethics meeting. We have concluded the executive sessions for C23-026 and C23-031. We have an order to read into the record, and I would like to see if our vice chair would read that for us. Yeah, I can do mine too.
This is 023?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
023-026.
Let's see what we got here.
And give us 1 second. We're having some technical difficulties today.
Just tell me which document to read.
There should be an order in that packet.
There's a letter of reprimand and a negotiated settlement. That's all there is.
Do any of you guys have the order pulled up?
There's no order. Oops, wrong one.
Okay, I'm trying to go through mine. I guess we'll need both of them because there's no copies of either. Well, there was no finding in. Oh, it's here. It's showing up black on
You
mine.
want to use this? They're here.
Oh, you have, well, do you want to read them into record?
But what am I reading? There's no order.
Oh, it should be the order. I think it's this one, but for whatever reason, it's coming up black right now on my phone.
No, I don't think that we ever received an order. Maybe it's coming now. You already signed this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Well, this is for 26. I don't have the one for 31. You want to read that, or you want me to read it into the record?
I'll read it. It's
Okay.
Gotta make it a little bigger.
Yeah, I think you can
Turn
flip it too.
sideways,
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to announce what I'm reading?
Yes. At this time, the chair or the vice chair is going to read into the record the order from case number 23-026.
Public report and final order of dismissal. Christy Kelly, Executive Director of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics, filed the above referenced complaint against respondent Laura Danowski, Mayor of the town of Loxahatchee Groves. In count one, the complaint alleges that respondent used or attempted to use her official position or office in a manner that may have resulted in a special financial benefit to a prohibited entity in violation of Section 2443A of the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics, misuse of public office or employment. In count two, the complaint alleges respondent violated Section C443C of the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics, disclosure of voting conflicts, by voting on or participating in matters that may have resulted in a special financial benefit to a prohibited entity. Pursuant to Section 2258A of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics Ordinance, the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics is empowered to enforce the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics. On March 7, 2023, the Commission conducted a probable cause. Wouldn't that be March 7th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. On March 7, 2024, the Commission conducted a probable cause hearing and reviewed the report of investigation, probable cause recommendation, and response submitted by the advocate, and the response by the advocate and respondent attorney. The Commission determined that, pursuant to Section 260 1.3 of Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics ordinance. Public interest would not be served by proceeding further and dismiss the complaint. Therefore, it is ordered and adjudged that the complaint against respondent Laura Danowski is hereby dismissed, done and ordered by the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics in public session on March 7, 2024, by the current chair.
Thank you. I will now have our vice chair read into the record the order from case number 23-031.
Public report and final order. Complainant Mavis Benson filed the above referenced complaint alleging a possible ethics violation involving respondent Richard Burgess, who had applied for and was ultimately appointed to the advisory board of the Delray Beach Downtown Development Authority. The information respondent provided on his application is the subject of this complaint and investigation. The complaint alleges that the respondent falsified information on his DDA application in violation of Section 2443H, honesty in applications for positions. Pursuant to Section 2258A of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics Ordinance, the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics is empowered to enforce the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics. Respondent stipulated to probable cause, and respondent and advocate submitted a negotiated settlement, including a letter of reprimand to the COE for approval. Respondent stipulated to the facts and circumstances as contained in the letter of reprimand. According to the negotiated settlement, and based on the facts as set forth in the letter of reprimand, respondent admitted to violating Section 2443H of the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics and agreed to accept a letter of reprimand. After listening to the statements by advocate and the respondent, the Commission accepted the conditions of the negotiated settlement. Pursuant to Commission on Ethics Ordinance 260.1, Public Hearing Procedures, the Commission found that there was a clear and convincing evidence contained within the record to support a finding that the violation was intentional and that respondent has acknowledged that his actions violated the Palm Beach County Code of Ethics. Therefore, it is ordered and adjudged this matter is concluded upon issuance of a letter of reprimand done and ordered by the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics on the 7th day of March, 2024. Kristen Vara Garcia, Chair.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair Kreidel. I will now move on to Executive Director comments. Ms. Kelly?
Thank you. So yesterday, the Florida House and Senate passed the bill that prohibits our office from self-initiating complaints. At this point, the next step is that it's going to have to be signed by the governor. And then in the meantime, staff will be reviewing the language to see what the true impact it will be on our office. In other news, on February 21, Intake and Compliance Manager Levesque gave an overview presentation to the Palm Beach County Municipal Clerks Association. I received a lot of positive feedback from that presentation, and they said that they really enjoyed it and they learned a lot. So that was good job, Gina. On Tuesday, the Board of County Commissioners declared March as Ethics Awareness Month. It was a joint recognition of the work of the Commission on Ethics, the Office of Inspector General, FAU Ethics Academy, and the State Attorney's Public Corruption Unit. It was a nice opportunity to be before the commissioners and the public to remind them that we're here and of the importance of the work and how ethics in government really matters. And I want to thank the commissioners that were able to be there, Commissioner Kreidel, Cruz, and Kugler, who were able to attend the proclamation. And then after the proclamation, we also held a joint meet and greet with the Office of Inspector General outside the governmental center. So it was really nice to be able to have a joint event with them since we are working on the same mission. And then also on Tuesday, the city of Lake Worth Beach presented us with a proclamation declaring it Ethics Awareness Month in Lake Worth Beach. So that was great to have as well. And then since our last meeting, staff presented at the Rotary Club of Boca Raton and also participated in the Junior Achievement Career Day at Emerald Cove Middle School. And then finally, we're starting up our municipal visits again. So staff has spoken at the municipal meetings of the Lake Worth Beach CRA, the City of Haverhill, Lake Worth Beach itself, and then Glen Ridge. And that is all I have.
Thank you so much. I will now turn to the commissioners for comments. Are there any comments?
So I do have a request for some clarification. I really never gave this 1% rule much thought until we started dealing with E Street in Loxahatchee Groves and such a tiny population. And I'm trying to understand how this 1% is applied. Is it applied to the number of properties? Because it says in one area, similarly situated members of the public. So would that just be the number of properties or the number of property owners? So 2 or 3 people could own a property. And then, so that's question number 1. How is the 1% calculated? And then question number 2 is the 1% a guideline, or does it create a rebuttable presumption of an ethics violation, or is it conclusive evidence of a ethics violation?
I believe, if Rhonda can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the way that we look at the size of the class affected is the property entity, correct, as a whole?
I will say we do it differently for every situation that we have to add up a 1%. So in Loxahatchee Groves, you might have 100 properties, but you only have 50 owners of those properties, like adjacent properties. So in that situation, we would call it an ownership entity, or it may be owned by 3 people, those 3. So we would call that an ownership entity. So we wouldn't, if you have 100 properties and 50 owners, that would be a class of 50. It wouldn't be a class of 100. But we do it differently in each case because we do count very specifically how many owners there are, how many properties there are, whether or not the properties are adjacent to one another. And we also always err on the side of the respondent. For example, in one of the Loxahatchee Groves, even though people weren't actually using E Road, if their address was like around the corner from E Road, we included them in the class to make an effort to enlarge the class to benefit the respondent.
The benefit of the doubt goes to the respondent.
Correct. Okay. So that's generally our approach. But if the question were revolving around, let's say, Airbnb owners, we would count every single Airbnb in the municipality. We wouldn't count it in a specific area. So when this project had something to do with E Road, we counted everybody who is addressed off E Road and everybody who uses E Road if they lived on like a corner lot, for example. So we definitely enlarged the class to the benefit of the respondent.
And then the second part of the question is the 1% conclusive evidence of a violation, or just rebuttable presumption, or neither?
Well, it's not specifically called a rebuttable presumption, but there are other factors you can look at. I would say it would go to the detriment of the respondent if the project was right at their driveway and they were going to receive a higher benefit than, say, somebody further down the road. That would be a definite negative. So there are other criteria, whether it benefits more or less the person, or, the respondent, or the person who is voting. I guess the overall, I have them all written down. But yes, there are other things. It's not a rebuttable presumption, but there are other criteria to look at.
As with all ethics issues, there's some level of good judgment that has to be applied.
Well, and I can say in the case that we just talked about, and if you read through the packet, you saw originally they had 20 different addresses included in, and that was no problem because that essentially affected the entire town. So that is the solution, is to make a bigger package as far as your improvement plan and not narrow it down to one address or one roadway. That's how a smaller agency gets around it, is by making it a bigger packet for approval.
Okay, Thank you, Rhonda.
And we do utilize there are 4 factors that state statutes utilize to determine if something is a special financial benefit. We do utilize those 4 additional factors, which Ms. Geiger was mentioning. And then in addition, in the past, we have found cases where they were one of 98 property owners, and we found that it wasn't a special financial benefit, even though it was below that it was more than that 1%. Because of the other factors, it wasn't a special financial benefit. And vice versa, where they were like 110 or 105 property owners, so they were less than 1% slightly, but it was determined that they were getting a special financial benefit because they, something inured uniquely to them, so.
I'm sorry to follow up on that. The state statute doesn't say 1%. It says the size of the class affected by the vote. They have, by case law, adopted this 1% approach. So it's not something that is carved in stone.
Sure. So I guess the point I was trying to make is that at the end of the day, we come together and we try to do what's right. We apply those as guidelines, but there's still an element of judgment. And I say that because of what's happening at the state level in the state legislature, where they argue, I mean, my view, want to not have any judgment. They literally want to take, sorry. Well, I'm concerned about the statute for all of the reasons we said, because we're appointed to this board because we're considered to have some life experience and considered to have good judgment, I think. You all have good judgment.
My next.
Yep.
Well, to follow on Commissioner Romano's point, and that was an excellent segue, I want to thank Executive Director Kelly for giving us a heads up on what was happening in the legislature regarding the unwarranted overreach to try to take away what the voters put in place here back in 2012 by a state senator from Zephyr Hills, Florida, Senator Burgess. And we tried. I talked to State Representative Tay Edmonds, and then several times with Senator Lori Berman. And Senator Berman was nice enough to call me at 5:55 last night and telling me the bill is coming up and the leadership would not let it be pulled. And she said, we are going to have to work on a legislative fix to try to put back what the voters wanted. But the numbers were just not there. And the timing, it was slipped in at the last minute. There was definitely something else going on there. And anyway, that's probably all I should say about that.
Vice Chair Crydell.
I'd like to thank Liz for coming to the Rotary Club. She did a great job, had a great breakfast, and I think she's got so much potential to be a really good presenter.
Thank you. As for my comments, going back to the Loxahatchee Groves issue and the 1% issue that we've talked about now in 2 executive sessions, my only recommendation, and maybe just put it out there, is to see if maybe for some of these smaller municipalities that would be more likely to have these issues when they're voting on something, maybe we could get out there, and I know we're making our rounds in terms of going back out there and giving our lectures and everything like that so that they know, or even sending out an informational flyer to them so that we don't see this come up in these other smaller municipalities or anywhere, because I think it's an issue that could be easily avoided. It is, a little bit confusing, I think, sometimes, especially when there is uncertainty or not clear definition about the 1% and the class definition or how we're going to structure it every single time. So just trying to avoid these issues on the front end, I think maybe that would be a wonderful thing if we could make it happen. So unless there are any other comments from the commissioners, I will move for public comment. And none. All right, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.